Nice balance.
Hi, welcome to another Ben Spooling video. Wow, it snowed here last night apparently. This one's gonna be on a 2004 Accord. We gotta replace the slave cylinder in it. I've been driving my Subi a little bit, taking this old girl for a spin. Let's pick up my boy.
Fuck this shit, bro. I hate this.
This is the kid with the Accord, bro.
The real shitty Accord. We're gonna.
It needs a slave cylinder and it's raining like fuck. I might pull up on a big umbrella.
Tent? Let's get a tent.
Alright, we pulled up on that AutoZone. And we pulled up on some brake fluid and a slave cylinder.
Takis.
This kid's trying to step up his spicy tolerance. It's still raining out a little bit, not as bad.
Right, actually.
We about to send it out here. Let's go. Alright, here's the whip. Let's get in the fix today. See what's good. The car will shift into gear. But when you turn the car on, the slave cylinder is leaking, so it does not actually engage in gear.
Yeah, I'm forcing that right now.
Fully on the clutch.
Pushing the whole car right now.
You can hear it grinding because it's not going in all the way. Because the slave cylinder. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna fix it real quick because it's raining. We're trying to do this as fast as possible. Let's go, bro. There's 2 bolts and then this nut this fitting we have to undo. And that's pretty much it. And then we're gonna bleed the system. Nate's working on the back of the 2 12mm bolts holding it on. We're gonna leave the first one in just so we can break that line without having to worry about the slave cylinder moving for a second. And then once we get the brake fluid line off the slave cylinder, then we will remove the second bolt. Don't take that bolt out yet. Look at what he's got in his hands. This was not easy. Super gassed on it. What we ended up having to do, since we have northeast corrosion and shit, and we didn't preemptively spray it or anything, we had to just vice grip this, which is pretty ghetto. We're just gonna leave the vice grips on there and then install the new slave and tighten it from the nut, because we were trying to loosen it from this collar nut or whatever you want to call it, fitting. And now we're going to install the new slave cylinder. It's very straightforward. Just goes right into this black circle down here. And 2 bolts, then we're going to bleed it. And since this is brand new, we have a brand new bleeder right here. You'll see that later in the video, but this is going to be no problems to turn. So we should have no issues because this is brand new, clean, unused parts. So let's get this. What we're going to do is attach the line here, 2 14s, and then just bleed it and make sure to fill the brake fluid as you're doing it, because if you let too much brake fluid go out of the container, then a huge air bubble gets sucked in and then you have to bleed the whole system starting from scratch. So we're going to install this, put some more brake fluid in there and start the bleed procedure, check the brake fluid, and that should be it, and this car should be working again.
So, made the mistake of buying some manual clutch fluid. Don't be like me. Just buy brake fluid. So I'm a sucker.
Alright, so it's kind of cool. There's this nut connection can spin. So you can tighten this connection before you actually install it. So now we're going to line this up and install the new bolts. I think the line got a little bit twisted when we were fucking around with it. Let's get it. You want to make sure this socket's like securely on there.
Nice balance.
All right, now I think the bleed is an 8mm. The last part of the process is to bleed this. I was correct, it's an 8mm. We have two options here. You can pick one or the other. You can be the clutch pumper / holder, or you can be the brake bleeder screw releaser.
Describe my job.
For the clutch job, you can sit in the car and you just pump the clutch when I tell you.
I just keep going over and over again.
What we're gonna do is in segments of 5. You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold it. And then when you're holding it all the way to the ground, the other person loosens the screw open so the fluid can flow through. And then you'll feel the clutch pedal go down to the floor, or whoever's in the car will feel it go down to the floor as the hydraulic fluid's bleeding through. And then you tighten the screw, pump again. And you do that over and over and over until the clutch pedal is really tight. All right. Where's that bottle you got? Oh, right here. We're gonna make a little brake fluid bottle real quick. I think I got some screwdrivers in here. I can puncture this. So we bought a brake fluid line. The screwdriver's a little bit thick, boy. Something more precise. It's very easy to make a homemade brake fluid bottle. You start out small, and we bought some line. Whether it's rubber or clear line, it's gonna work. Clear line is actually a little bit better because you can see the air bubbles and the flow of the fluid. So then this might be still too small. There she is. Now this is going to connect down here. Take this little condom off. Alright, so I got the line connected. I had to work it out a little bit. The AutoZone store guy gave me the line, so I didn't have any choice in it. Now we're going to send this. First I'm going to... Oh, Brett, my boy already put brake fluid in there because he's the boss. Yeah. Alright, so now just pump it up mad times, and I'm gonna make sure that it's working. So you saw immediately that this sucked the brake fluid down. Like I said, you don't want it to go all the way down, or else it just burps the whole bubble. Yeah. And you have to bleed it again. Alright, now pump it. Just keep pumping. Do 5, and if it feels strong, let me know. You holding? Alright, then did you just feel it go down a little bit? Yeah. Alright, now do it again. Loose and tight. Go for it. Releasing and tight. Yeah, I can see the line starting to fill up. We should do a really good bleed on this and just basically replace the fluid. Releasing and tight. You good? Releasing and I'm gonna go off the floor. Tight. Yeah, you're good. When you're good, say holding. Release and tight. Release and tight. I'm gonna do it again. I'll be long. You can slow down, listen to my own song. Alright, loose, tight, loose, and tight. Yeah, that's probably why. That's definitely part of the reason why they started leaking, bro. The problem is that there's these rubber O-rings in there, and if contaminated brake fluid starts getting in there, it fucks up the seals, and that's what makes it start leaking. All right. Got to make sure the engine bay is clear of everything. Both of the bolts are tight. The jam nut is tight. We bled the system. We took all the trash out of the engine bay. Everything is good here. Here's the old slave cylinder. I just want to show you this. It was leaking out here. And I think it was leaking because partially because the fluid was old, partially just because of age. But that's the old slave cylinder. This is what pushes basically the clutch to engage and disengage right here. That's all it does. So we're gonna demonstrate now what happens. Into reverse. And now let's see this old girl move. Hell yeah, so that's how you do it. That's super dope. Let's get it.
So smooth too.
We're in the Honda Accord.
Charlie, that's his name.
Charlie is the car's name. That thing's going into gear now. We driving, we moving, it's no longer a brick.
Oh, so fucking nice. Yes! Let's fucking go, bro! I gotta whip home.
Thing's mint, boy. 190K, we're out here keeping her alive. Yeah, look at how clean that steering wheel is. Damn, boss.
2.5 hours. You can do it yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was an extended 2.5 hours.
That was. We got some food.
And had to deal with bullshit.
It ain't hard, fellas. Give it a shot.
Alright, yo. It's been a long video. My name's Ben Spoolin. Thank you for checking out the channel. I love fixing up cars. Any car, all the cars, I don't care. I love fixing them up and teaching people how to work on them. So this one was how to do a slave cylinder on a 2004 Honda Accord stick shift.